Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with yet another live stream Sunday evening, 7:30 p.m. Spain mainland time. 1 hour less if you are in the Canary Islands, of course, but 7:30 p.m. where I am here in the Madrid community. Now, we're going to go through some of the main news stories that have caught my attention today. We'll also go into the comment section on previous videos, see what's happening there. And then in the second half of the video, we'll go into the chat section on this live stream and check out what the punters are saying in the chat section. So that's what will be the structure of today's live stream for people joining us not only on YouTube, but also on Facebook now. I have the technology to go live on various platforms, if you like. YouTube is one, Facebook is another. I'll see if I can add some more platforms as the days go by. Now, the first piece of news today, this one here, about the economy here in Spain. And as we can see, Spain beats expectations with 0.2% growth, but is still a laggard in Europe. Spain's economy expanded more than expected at the end of last year in a sign of resilience in the face of high inflation and rising borrowing costs. Spain's gross domestic product inched up 0.2 or 0.2% between the third and fourth quarter of 2022, the country's Statistics Bureau, the INE, said on Friday. The growth rate was unchanged from the revised pace of the previous 3 months, but the reading was higher than the 0.1% expansion forecast by economists polled by Reuters. Compared with the fourth quarter of a year earlier, output rose by 2.7%, a stronger reading than the 2.2% forecast by analysts. The expansion confirms the strength and resilience of the Spanish economy, said Prime Minister Sánchez on Twitter. In the face of the prophets of doom, today we have strong economic growth, the lowest inflation in Europe, and record unemployment. The words there of Prime Minister Sánchez, of course, responding to the prophets of doom, as he likes to call them, basically the opposition parties here in Spain, the Partido Popular, Ciudadanos, the Citizens Party, and Vox, another opposition party in this country. And the economy, as we saw there, going reasonably well in 2022. Remember that pre-pandemic growth levels still haven't been reached, so still a little bit behind in that sense, and that's why the word laggard was used there. But the economy is trying to get back on track, and of course we'll see what 2023 has in store for us. Because from what I'm seeing, prices are rising, especially when it comes to consumption, and they've hit levels that I haven't seen before. Went to a restaurant last night and the prices were unbelievable, a huge jump from 2022. So I think a lot of businesses have been waiting for the new year to increase prices, especially when it comes to restaurants and things like that. So we will see if the good economic data continues when it comes to the economy. Now, I'm just going to put the like icon on the screen. If you haven't hit the like icon yet, please do so. Just below the video, we've got our regular one disliker in the audience tonight. Good to see you there, wasting your time. And we'll see if we can get up to a decent tally of likes today. We will see. Now, the second piece of news, this one here. Spain's war on drugs. Police here in Spain seize 4,500 kilos of cocaine on a ship from Colombia. Spanish authorities, with support from the US DEA, seized more than 4,500 kilos of cocaine on a cargo ship on the high seas from Colombia and arrested its 28 crew members, several of them Latin Americans, after discovering the drugs in a shipment of cattle. The Spanish police reported this Saturday the operation, in which 10 Tanzanians, 5 Syrians, 4 Kenyans, 2 Ecuadorians, 2 Panamanians, 2 Colombians, a Dominican, a Nepalese, and a Nicaraguan were arrested. International organizations are reinventing themselves when it comes to transporting drugs from Latin America to Europe, using live cattle to make it more difficult to control and trace them, police said in a statement. And no doubt in 2023 we will see a lot more stories like this one, where huge amounts of cocaine are seized at ports and ships coming into Spain from places like Colombia, because as we know, Spain is the gateway for that particular drug here in Europe. Comes into the ports I think they're using other ports in the European Union nowadays as well, maybe in the Netherlands and places like that. But Spain, historically, the point of entrance, let's say, or the point of entry, let's say, for drugs like cocaine, and the connections between South America, obviously, and Spain, quite high, and therefore drugs used usually come into this country first and then get distributed through the rest of Europe. And that's one of the reasons why so many mafia groups get arrested in this country, because they're trying to control the lucrative drug trade, not only from Italian mafia, of course, but other mafias around Europe. And I saw a documentary the other day about the Irish mafia and how one of them was also living here in Spain, controlling the drug networks. Now, another piece of news, and some bad news, I'm going to be honest. The Iberian pig, Spain's gastronomic jewel, is also affected by the drought and the shortage of acorns. The unprecedented drought affecting a large part of the Iberian Peninsula is seriously damaging the Iberian pig. The fattening period in the meadows, known as the Montanera, is being affected by the shortage of acorns in the 4 designations of origin of this ham: Guijuelo in Salamanca, Extremadura, Los Pedroches, Córdoba, and Jabugo in Huelva. These are regions that essentially live off this product, one of the most highly valued in our gastronomy, both in Spain and abroad. And no doubt a lot of people in this country already worried that the price of their succulent ham, gastronomic jewel, as we saw here in the Spanish crown, will go up, because we know it's already an expensive product. If you're not familiar with Iberian ham, maybe you've seen prosciutto in the supermarkets where you live, or some other type of ham, but the Iberian ham, apparently, not only here in Spain, but also Portugal does a very good Iberian ham, because they share those meadows, dehesas as they're called here in Spanish, and this is the product in question, the Iberian cured ham. It is an exclusive Spanish food, and there are 4 designations of origin. Now, it says exclusive Spanish food. I said in Portugal you can buy a similar product, but obviously it doesn't have the Spanish designation of origin. Guijuelo, Salamanca, and Extremadura, they share a border. The Dehesa de Extremadura and Los Pedroche and Jamón de Huelva, both in Andalusia. If you want to take it home, the best option is to vacuum pack it. How to eat it? Try it like tapas with a beer or a glass of wine. But whatever you do, do not fry it like bacon. I've heard stories in the past of people frying this ham, thinking that was like a bacon, sticking it in the pan, frying it away with their eggs in the morning. Do not do that. You eat it straight out of the packet, as we saw there, as a tapa. And I recently read an interesting story of a young Spanish guy who tried to take a kilo of this product, not only jamón, but also chorizo and salchichon, white chorizo, into Australia, got caught and got put on the next plane home and copped a huge fine, and also had this product taken off him. So no doubt customs officers in Australia feasting on the Iberian ham. But that was an interesting story, a story for another day. Now I'm just going to put the like icon back on the screen. We'll see if we can get up to a decent tally. We're up to 73 at the moment. We might even crack the ton. So hit the like button below if you have not done so already. And if you're watching on Facebook, I think the option there is to give it also some type of like if you can. So please, let's see if we can get up to a decent tally, as I said before. Now, into the comment section. We're up to 9-minute mark. Comment, first one from Robert. I think many businesses are trying to up their profits that were lost during COVID. Also, many businesses are asking to be paid in cash, again due to COVID losses. It's understandable, but I think one has to be suspicious when different companies raise the price by varying amounts. It's one thing trying to recuperate monies lost, but something else when you are outright fiddling people. Yes, this is a debate that has been strong in the comment section in recent times. Prices rising, supermarket prices, of course. And we know the, what were they called the other day? The ruthless capitalists, which are the supermarket chains in this country, according to one of the ministers in the Spanish government, ruthless capitalists for charging the prices that they are charging. And no doubt, I think, Robert, that some businesses are trying to take advantage of that COVID hiatus when they were a lot of places were basically put out of business. Airline companies, number one, trying to recover those losses during that period. Hotels, we know, have increased prices. Rent-a-car companies have also increased prices, and that's something that I want to ask people about in the chat section later. The best rental companies in the Canary Islands. A friend of mine is going down there, so if you know a company, please in the chat section you can tell me. But I would agree, Robert, that a lot of companies are taking advantage of that COVID period when business did drop off. But it wasn't the case of the supermarkets, because remember, during COVID, that was the only business that was open for 3 months. And they also had profits falling from the sky, as they like to use that term here in Spain, money falling from the sky. But other businesses definitely taking advantage. And we can see now restaurants in 2023, as I mentioned, with my experience last night going to a restaurant, a dish that would normally or would have cost €6 last year, up to $8.50 in 2023. And I'm not even going to go on to what it cost to buy a bottle of wine in that restaurant yesterday. Very expensive. So basically we ate as quickly as possible and got out of there. But I'm sure that businesses are going to suffer. And what restaurants are doing, I've noticed, is that they're either putting their prices up, which will keep customers away, or they're reducing the size of the dishes. So one of the restaurants that I go to for lunch some days, the Menú del Día, they've kept the same price, but you can definitely see the plate size reduction when it comes to the serves. So that's what they're doing. But no doubt, Robert, that some places are taking advantage. And when it comes to the second thing that you mentioned here, many businesses are asking to be paid in cash. Haven't seen that here in Spain, not in Madrid anyway. In fact, they seem to be more keen to get your credit card for you to use your credit card than cash. But maybe in some other parts of the country or other countries, cash is still king. Not sure. Let us know in the chat section your opinion on this. Another comment that was left recently from the Master of Disaster. Hi Stu, I was really surprised when you said that they are not allowed to deliver hot dishes. What happens if you order pizza? Would they really bring you a cold one? Yeah, there was a bit of confusion with my comments the other day. I did a food video on Friday, and the food when it arrived from this particular place was cold. And the reason is that when it's one of these pre-cooked food places, for example, I can't remember the name of the place that I got it from, but it's like a small business here. All of the food is pre-cooked. It's sitting in a bain-marie, as they call it, but cold. And I remember asking one of the owners of the restaurant once, and he said that local council regulations say that that food has to be served cold. You take it home, you heat it up. Not the case when you order from a takeaway place. So if you order a burger, pizza, anything like that, it does come hot to your door, providing that the delivery driver is on time. Otherwise, you might get a cold pizza, but generally it comes hot. But the type of food that I ordered the other day, which was more of a pre-prepared type of meal, a lentils dish, I think, and a vegetable dish, that by local council rules, again, local council rules might be different in other parts of the country, has to be served cold. So sorry if people were confused by that. A few people did mention that in the comment section. Another comment that was left recently, this one here from Mike Z, or Mike Z, depending on which part of the world Mike is in. Hey Stu, we too have a problem with the avian flu in Europe. It's not as drastic as in the US yet, but it's coming. Get your own hens if you can. In Aragon, a free-range farm I'm passing by every now and then, have not had hens out since about August. I know in the UK there is a ban on letting hens out, so my guess is that it's the same here in Spain, though I have not verified that. Yeah, so we saw the price of eggs in the States hitting record levels. We even had a avian flu denier in the comment section the other day. Somebody saying that it's a hoax, the avian flu is not real. So obviously following on from the COVID pandemic is that person. But Mike pointing out there that in Aragon, the hens are not outside for fear of catching this avian flu, which apparently is already in Europe. I didn't know. I saw the other day, I read in the paper the other day that it had affected a mink farm in Galicia. And some other people said that yes, in other European countries, avian flu is an issue, but it's not affecting the price of eggs yet from what I have seen. Eggs are increasing in price, but I think that's due to inflation and other things like that. But we're not hitting $7 for a dozen, like somebody mentioned the other day in Texas in the United States. But if it does get worse, and Mike there suggesting that it possibly will, as he's also suggested, did Mike, we need to get our own hens. And I'm not sure here where I live, council regulations will let me put hens in the backyard. But if you are living on a granja here in Spain, or a place where you can put hens in the backyard, you might want to heed Mike's advice and pick a couple up the next time you're at a livestock event. That would be Mike's advice. Another comment from CCD 2022. Hi Stuart, I was wondering if you already spoke about the strike going on with the secretaries at the courts. I have been trying to get my residency for a year and a half. My case was archived by the immigration office and I have to go to court for a judge to rule on my case. It was scheduled for yesterday, but due to the strike, my trial date was cancelled. I have no idea when they will reschedule. Do you know anything about the strikes? Looks like it's a problem throughout Spain. Yes, CCD 2022. I had not heard about this, but I went into the press and looked it up. I put in a search and I came up with this. The indefinite strike of lawyers of the Administration of Justice began the other day with 81% of people following the strike or adhering to the strike, according to the conveners of the strike. And this was from the 25th of January. So what's that? 4 days ago. So there is an indefinite strike going on, and that CCD 2022 is no doubt affecting your residency process. And sorry to see that you have been caught up in this, but again, what can we do with so many people going on strike at the moment? If it's not doctors and nurses, it's the lawyers there at the courts, junior lawyers. I'm not sure what the ranking is there, but obviously it is affecting the bureaucratic process. We already know that it's quite a tedious process to go through the courts in this country for any reason. And now with the strike, obviously things are being pushed back again. So sorry to hear that. And if anybody else has similar experience or a solution for CCD 2022's problem, please let us know in the chat section or in the comment section below the video. Now we're up to the 17-minute mark. We'll look at one more comment. I'll just put the little like icon back on the screen. We've hit the ton. So if you haven't hit the like button either on YouTube or on Facebook, please do so. Just below the video you will find it. And we'll see if we can get up to maybe 150 today. We could crack the big 150. So we'll see. And final comment, this one here from Mr. Medical 911. Please, can we see more of your cute dog in the videos, Mr. Medical 911? Yes. The problem that I have with Mia appearing in the videos, Mr. Medical, is that there's an image rights question. Okay, I don't want to have problems down the line that Mia comes to me one day when she's a bit older and says, "Well, why did you film me when we were out and about? You didn't get my permission to film." And that's what I'm trying to avoid, having to pay some type of compensation in the future for image rights of the dog. That's a joke, of course. The reason I don't film the dog all the time is because she's normally going about her business, and sometimes it just doesn't occur to me to film the dog. But I'll take that advice on board there, Mr. Medical, and put the dog in the image or in the picture more often. She also appeared in the film in the food video the other day. You could sort of see her tail wagging as she was hanging around trying to get something to eat. She was unlucky because she doesn't normally get anything to eat when we are eating. And she's on the couch here to my right at the moment, but she's having her evening siesta before she wakes up with another run of energy and does whatever she does. But at the moment, she's quite peaceful on the couch. She might come in as the video rolls on, but at the moment, she's on the couch. But I'll take your suggestion on board, and I'll get her in the videos more often, with her permission, of course. Now, we're up to 19 minutes and 30 cents. 19 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's open the chat section up. Let's have a look here quickly. Just before we begin, I'm going to change the background image. I had this one sent in from Barbara. It's a picture of Granada. down there in the south of Spain. One of the most popular places in the country is Granada. And Barbara sent this picture through. Thank you very much for that, Barbara. She sent through a few pictures, did Barbara, so we'll see more in coming days and weeks. And if you've got a similar picture that you would like to see on the backdrop here on my green screen, I'll just find the email address. There we go. spainspeaks@gmail.com is the email address. Send your pictures through there. It can be a shot like this one here of Granada. It can be a beach shot like the one coming up shortly. It can be a shot of snow-capped mountains, whatever you like. We saw some almond blossoms the other day. We've seen street markets in the past. We've seen some of the fantastic Spanish food markets in the past. So whatever your picture is of Spain, if you would like to see it on the backdrop here, that's the email address at the top of the screen there. Now, into the chat section. Let me open it up. Let's see what's going on here. Plenty of activity already. Wow. So we've got Pete coming through. Greetings from Colombia. Again, a hot day, 34 degrees Celsius. Longing to live in Galicia later on is Pete. Getting out of Colombia there in South America. Hot and humid. Wants to get into Galicia, which of course we know is mild when it comes to weather. Wet and mild, but a fantastic part of the country, Pete, and I hope all goes well with that move there in the future. What else we got going on here? Philip coming in from Sussex. Counting down the days when I have enough days to be able to return to Spain. Obviously affected by that 90-day rule. Seriously considering applying for an NLV, non-lucrative visa, but Spanish tax puts me off, says Philip. Yeah, it puts a lot of people off, does Spanish tax, Philip. But with the new digital nomad visa, I think the tax rates are going to be more attractive for the first year or two. I'm not sure. But there is a lot of talk about that new visa, which is coming into force if it's not already available. And the tax rates are a lot more attractive, I think, Philip. So maybe you might want to look into that. Let us know if anybody else is considering that new digital nomad visa. Erica coming in from Terrassa, there in Catalonia, 8 degrees. But doing a bit of cooking is Erica at the moment. A nice pork stew for next week with mustard, grapefruit juice and mushrooms and a bit of cava, the Spanish sparkling wine, or the Catalonian sparkling wine, I should say. And gearing up with meals for the rest of the week is Erica. Good to see. Thank you very much for that one, Erica. Hope the dish is tasty. Elaine coming in from Chatham. How long did it take to get the Glovo order to arrive? Food looked good and it got Elaine hungry. Yeah, I was quite surprised. It was about 12 or 13 minutes. So I think I ordered the food at 20 to 2. And I think by 10 or 8 minutes to 2, it was at the door. So it was quite quick. The original delivery said it was going to arrive at around 2:10, but they beat that and it was quite quick. So good service from Glovo, and there normally is good service from Glovo at lunchtimes here. Another story is if you try to order Glovo now or a little bit later on this evening when Real Madrid or Barcelona or Atletico de Madrid is playing, you might not get an order, but what normally happens is the app just goes offline. You can't get any type of service at all. But quite happy with the Glovo service. As with all of those delivery drivers, they all work for the same companies, these guys or girls. They all work for Uber Eats, Glovo, Just Eat, Deliveroo. When it was here, they work for them as well. So they work for 3 or 4 companies, do these riders. Brian asking a question. Hi, Stuart. Was wondering what the average temperatures are in the area of Peniche in the months of July and August. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, Peniche City, the city part of Peniche, it's a bit different on the beaches. It can get a little bit warmer on the beach, Brian, but the city of Peniche never gets above, or where we are in Peniche, never gets above 24 degrees Celsius. You might get one day where it cracks 25, 26. It's humid. But 24, 23, 22, if the wind's blowing, a little bit less. But it's a very mild summer, even a bit cooler in the evening. So if you're planning to go there, Brian, I would take a jumper or something to put on in the evenings but it can get a bit cooler there, but I would recommend it, absolutely. All right, Jen's saying that the live chat are not uploaded on Facebook. Not sure what's going on there. Don't see me in the live chat. Well, the live chat is running now, Jen, so you can go ahead there in the with your chatting. What else we got going on? Alan coming in from a warmer London, soon in Madrid. Margot pointing out that the live chat starts in 15 minutes. I think that was the issue there, that people were in the chat section before it began. Paul coming in from Barcelona. Simon coming in from Lanzarote. Don't forget, I asked before if anybody has a good car rental place down there in the Canaries, Tenerife to be exact, for a friend of mine who's planning a trip there shortly, wants to see if he can get a bargain renting a car. So if anybody knows the best car rental places in the Canaries, please let us know in the chat section or send me an email. Alan is back in El Puerto. Hace mucho frío, Alan, in El Puerto de Santa Maria. Good to see you are back from San Diego, and hope all is going well, despite the cold weather, of course. Fly coming in from a chilly Stockport, Cheshire, not sure how you would say that, Cheshire cat in the UK. Hope all is well. Jason coming in from Wolverhampton in the UK. Can't wait to get back to Spain. Rory coming in from Palma de Mallorca. Better weather today. Good to see. Osawakit coming in from Oregon. Gino coming in from Toronto. Shay Rubio coming in from Guadalajara, Mexico. Stephen coming in. Hasn't been here for yonks, says Stephen. Good to see you back. Remy is watching here in the chat tonight. In the chat section is Remy. Another Remy, but this time with an I. We have a Remy with a Y and a Remy with an I. Like up front, thanks for that. Barbara coming in from the Playa Flamenca, lots of regular viewers. Stan coming in from Poland. Michael coming in from a blustery Torrox down there in Malaga. Got a picture of yours coming up, Michael, so stay tuned for that. Mel, Ola, Stewart. What else we got going on here? Stephen, every time he goes to Mercadona, the prices are up, but my wages are the same. That's the next debate, Stephen. Stagnating wages. A lot of people, I saw an article in the paper today, people complaining, they're saying it's not worth working anymore. Salaries are not going up, stagnating as I said, but everything else seems to be going through the roof. So it is going to cause some problems in 2023, no doubt. Now, we're up to 160 likes. I'll put the little like icon back on the screen, so if you haven't hit it yet, please do so, just below the video. 160, happy with that. We'll see if we can maybe even hit the 180 mark today. Let's see, 180, if we can. And the email address also, if you have a, well, that's the wrong one, that's the old one. If you've got a picture that you would like to see, like Barbara's here, spainspeaks@gmail.com, send it through. I think a couple of people have already sent through their pictures to me. My phone has been buzzing. What else we got going on here? Tobias coming in from Central Alabama. Looking forward to the upcoming calm. Hope your channel's going well, Tobias, putting out more content. Let us know if that is the case, or if you've hit a creative wall. Let us know, Tobias. What else we got going on here? Mrs. Dodger, looking at buying property in La Marina. Haven't visited yet. Can you recommend any places, any pluses about living there? There we go. One question there for Brian, down there in La Marina, from Mrs. Dodger. Ted asking for likes. Thanks, Ted. Makish. Yeah, it could be true. Sometimes I see the little dislikes get removed, but there's always one or two people that just wait to hit the dislike button. It's just what they do. So I think there's always one or two people that are just waiting to hit the dislike button for whatever reason. Maybe I've said something in the past that has annoyed them, or maybe I didn't answer their question one time. That can also annoy people. What else we got going on here? D coming in from Playa de Oliva. Raining cats and dogs today. Dry weather in Madrid, D, so that's a plus here. What else you got going on? Hi, Peterborough. Prices from reasonably mild Peterborough, UK. Mark coming in. Hello, Mark. Another regular viewer is Mark. What else we got going on here? Cold day in Oklahoma. Lots of people putting the thumbs up there. Erica's got another chat here. No way of getting below 50 for weekly shopping. This means an extra 20 euros more per week. Have the feeling, though, that the IVA VAT has decreased. Prices increased before. Probably, I think, Erica, that's the case. There was another comment there about the... I don't think I looked at it, but I'll address it tomorrow about prices going up. And it's all part of doing business. But as I said in the video the other day, that we as consumers, we have the choice. I mean, if you don't like Mercadona because the prices are too high, we can try to shop somewhere else. And what many people are doing is, instead of, they're looking for cheaper products or sales and things like that. But for basic goods, there's no getting away from it that prices have increased. And I don't know when the trend is going to change, if it ever does. Don't know. And like I said, when it comes to restaurants, is that restaurant going to put its prices back down if inflation gets under control? Don't know. Or are they going to stay at that price going forward? Who knows? Edward, my son is visiting my sister in Madrid. They are eating pulpo. I am envious. Pulpo is one of the things that is very expensive at the moment, Edward. And also, you have to be careful in Madrid that you don't get imitation pulpo. All right. So if you're eating at the in the central area of Madrid is your son, be careful, because a lot of the restaurants there, they put in some type of fake octopus. I'm not sure exactly what the product is, or whether it's been artificially made heavier. I'm not sure what happens, but there was a scandal a few years ago with people serving a product that was not actually genuine pulpo for expensive prices. So be careful eating pulpo. What else we got going on here? More people staying at home. J. Yes, I think that will be the case. The restaurant that I went to last night, 3 tables out of 10. So obviously people are, it's the end of January. People have been paid. So normally people would be out and about on a Saturday evening, but it wasn't the case last night. And I'm sure that those higher than normal prices are keeping people away, JG. Now I'm just going to, I'm just going to change the backdrop. This one was sent in from Michael, who's down there in the Malaga province. And this one is Nerja. And I put this one on today because it reminds us of what we can look forward to in coming months, when places like Nerja down there in Malaga, those beaches start to fill up again. People start to occupy those sunbeds there. People start to look for a bit of relief from the sun from those dodgy umbrellas or whatever they are there, those sunshades. And people call the waiter from the Chiringuito, which no doubt is just out of shot there, and order a tinto de verano, or a nice cold beer, or a nice plate of fried fish down there in Nerja. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that one, Michael. And if you've got a similar picture to this one here that you would like to see on the backdrop, this is the address, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Send it through. I normally get around to doing it, but remember that if it can be in landscape size, 16:9, and not one of the typical Instagram size photos, because they don't go onto my green screen very well. So Michael's sent through the right size here, and I can just make it a little bit bigger for the backdrop, which is 19. I can't remember the exact size, but landscape would be the size that we need. All right, Ed coming in from Barcelona. Another regular viewer is Ed. Cold there still in Barcelona. Marianne coming in from San Diego. Grateful for the Spanish news. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Marianne, for watching. Carol coming in from Estepona with Martin. Sunny but cold. Brr, she says. Interesting show. To Catch a Smuggler, Madrid. Number 1 destination for cocaine from South America, says Alan. I don't think Spain is the final destination for the cocaine, but obviously for those language reasons, cultural reasons, and the amount of ports here in Spain, it is the gateway for other European countries. But I think it heads up to, countries where people pay more for the product. I think it's supply and demand. It's as simple as that. If there's no demand, there's no supply. But obviously, demand for the product is very high. hence the amounts coming into the ports. Nothing surprising there. Stephen coming in from Manilva, still enjoying Spain, and a nice Rioja is Stephen. I know Stephen fancies a Rioja of an evening. Hope you've got a good one, Steve. Daryl's coming in. Hello, Daryl. Hope all is well. Stephen asking another question there. Okay, here we go. We've got a rent-a-car company in Tenerife. Sanasti. I'll write that one down, Sanasti, in case I don't remember it later. I'll just write that one down there, Sanasti. I'll see if I can get a decent price there. Thank you very much for that, Mark. Any other ideas, please let us know. What else we got going on? Let's have a look here. Mark, okay, yep, that's it. Highly recommended, sorry. Supermarkets ripping people off, says David. Dr. Guillain asking a question here. This is a cultural question. Having spent a lot of time in Spain, I have picked up on the habit of, after clinking glasses in a cheers, tapping the glass back down on the table before drinking. Why? Don't know. Never seen it. Maybe other people have. Let them know, please, in the chat section if that is the case. Not sure. What else we got going on here? Shrinkflation. That's exactly right. That's what it is. Same price, smaller portions. As I said, I don't have a problem with that because a lot of the times, Elaine, when you go to a restaurant, you get too much food anyway. So if the amount of food they give you on the plate is reduced, I don't have a problem with that, to be honest. And I'd rather that than have the price jacked up to 16 or 17 euros. That's what I would prefer, but I'm sure other people will differ. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. People asking whether that rent-a-car company that Mark just pointed out is on the mainland Spain as well. I think I have heard of that company. I think it's only a Canary company, but again, I'm sure I will be proven wrong in the chat section if that is not the case. What else got going on here quickly? Barbara had some lovely Spanish acorn-fed ham when she visited Extremadura a few years ago. Definitely top quality. We even visited a farm and were given a guided tour and saw the brown pigs. Yeah. One of the prized foods in this country, as we saw. I think it was what do they say? A jewel in Spain's gastronomic crown. And Extremadura, the Dehesas de Extremadura, is where a lot of this Iberian pork is produced. And as I said, in Portugal as well, they call it presunto de something. I can't remember exactly what it is. The perna preta, I think. And it's the same product. They cut it the same way, but it's raised in Portugal, but it's the same area, I think. So it's a very similar product. Expensive as well. All right, what else we got going on here? Catching you on Facebook tonight is Alan. Thumbs up, 200 likes. Yep, we've hit the 200 mark, which is surprising. Haven't done that for a while. So thanks, guys, for hitting the like button. Fantastic. And people that are coming in on Facebook. Not many people coming in on Facebook, but obviously more on YouTube because I've been going on YouTube for a lot longer. Alan asking the question, does Mia have an agent? No, but she's in the market for one, Alan. If you want to put your hand up to manage the dog, feel free. She's a fairly easy-going client, I would say. Doesn't ask for much. Just needs to be fed and taken out a few times a day, that's all. What else you got going on? Jules is enjoying the chats, thank you. Daryl saying, nice photo. I think it's this one is the nice photo, or the other one was a nice photo as well. Valeria asking the question, did I go to the Australia Day barbecue in Madrid? No, I did not go to that, Valeria. I think there was one, a Facebook site that I'm a member of, and another club that I'm a member of also was advertising a barbecue, I think, on yesterday, maybe, was it? But no, I didn't go. I'm not really into that type of thing, to be honest. And it's a little bit out of the way, I think, where they were holding it in a place called Paracuellos. To get there by car, or at least I would anyway. If you're in Madrid, it's a bit easier because you just take the metro station. They were picking people up, but where I live here, not that easy. But I don't really celebrate Australia Day, to be honest, Valeria. Maybe I did when I first came. I was a little bit nostalgic and holding on to things like that, but nowadays, nah. What else we got going on here? Travel Adventures with John and Maria. 10 best movies of 2022. Not sure, John and Maria, haven't watched a lot of movies recently. I'm more of a series type of guy, but I did see recently the latest Top Gun film, which was okay. Yeah, it was okay. A fair while between Top Guns. And I saw a James Bond movie recently as well. Can't remember what it was, but I think it was the latest James Bond. So those are the two movies that I've been watching. My partner's currently watching Breaking Bad, so I'm going through reruns of that at the moment. But thanks for the chat anyway. What else we got going on here everywhere? Anyway, Richard's in the chat section. Hello everyone. Hello Richard. Purdue coming in from Indianapolis, Indiana, USA. Hermes Addict is interested in the digital nomad visa and buying a second home in Barcelona as an American. Do I have a recommendation on where I should look for information? I don't have any information, but there's plenty of places on the internet. If you just Google Spain digital nomad visa, I'm sure there's lots of agencies and companies that are willing to help you out with that. Everybody wants to be in the middle of doing business with that new visa. Here we go. Enrique's coming in from Tenerife, Los Cristianos. Now, Enrique, please, car place, let us know if there's one down there in the Canaries apart from the one that was sent through before. So let us know, Enrique, some first-hand knowledge there from the Canaries. Let us know. What else we got going on here? Okay, Philip's getting back there. Unfortunately, jubilado, so the digital visa's out of the way. Not too attractive. I can understand that. You don't really want to have to work again. Philip, sorry, I didn't know your situation. But for a lot of people that are still working, that digital nomad visa will be the option for them. And it opens the door to not only Americans and Canadians, obviously Australians, Kiwis that have had trouble getting into Spain because of the visa processes, but also now for people from the United Kingdom that will finally have a visa that is more attractive to come down here to Spain, since the door has been closed for the last few years. All right, good. What else we got going on here? Late joining is Sean Away from Ireland. Better late than never. Remy with an I. Remy with a Y saying hello to Remy with an I. Y Latina and Y, as they say in Spanish. What else we got going on here quickly? Owen voted or gave a like on Facebook and on YouTube. I think that's cheating, Owen, but we won't report you. Don't worry about that. What else we got going on here? Andrew from the Nights Rider YouTube channel runs San Astian Tenerife. There we go, another YouTuber, Nights Rider. I'll have to check his content out. What else we got going on? Martos, Kevin. That's Martos down in Jaén, I think, is it, Kevin? Had a student from Martos a few years ago. Nice bloke he was. 200 likes tonight, says Colin Steppenwolf. Yeah, we did hit 200 today, 227, which was positive. The live stream is going to come to an end shortly. Let's have a look. Martin also saying, as per your video the other day, we have just returned to Estepona, and in the street is one of the large recycle containers which is padlocked, just as you showed us near you. Yeah, I showed a composting container which is locked because they don't want people just throwing their rubbish in it, I think. But there are new bins going up around different councils, Martin, which are locked because only certain people have access to them. So, for example, if you've got a school close by or some type of elderly residence, maybe they're the only people that can access that bin. I think that's what's going on. I've seen it here where I live. One of the bins has a padlock on it, but then the cleaners from the school come out, open the lock, put their rubbish in it, so they're not using the other rubbish. So I think that could be one of the reasons, but again, not 100% sure. Iggy saying that fake pulpo might be from fake crab meat. Not sure. But there was some type of a fake pulpo scandal that I saw on La Sexta Investigación a few years ago, charging 24 euros for a ración de pulpo, and it was it wasn't even a proper octopus. So that was a bit of a scandal. Cuttlefish maybe, could be. Scallops could be. Not sure. Now we're up to the. I'll just go through the chats here quickly. Lots of activity here. Grant's coming in. Brian's getting back to about La Marina. Nancy coming in from New York. Hello, Nancy and Tom. Good to see you. Haven't heard from you guys for a while since we caught up for lunch one time there, Nancy. I hope you enjoyed that lunch and hope all is going well there in New York. What else we got going on? El Davido. Narcos. Highly recommended. I've seen a few series of Narcos. El Davido. Narcos Mexico, I think I saw. One, I think about growing marijuana or something in Mexico. Interesting program. Thanks for that. All right. Now, I'm going to wrap the live stream up. Thank you very much for your participation in the chat section today, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook. Thank you very much for watching the video. We got 236 likes, so I'm happy with that. Thank you very much for smashing that like button. Greatly appreciated. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. If I can sit outside, I will, rather than in this stuffy room here. So I'll try to get a video out tomorrow from outside, if possible, weather permitting, of course. Another live stream on Tuesday. You will be redirected to that live stream now, so you can put it in your calendars. Thank you very much for watching. As I said, thanks for being in the chat section, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Hasta luego, hasta entonces. Adiós.